going on, guys? It's your girl Shantae C, and we're back for another Tea and Things. I'm chilling with my homegirl.
Nia, what's up? It's another Wednesday. We're here. We're going to get into some tea and talk about some things. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about some things tonight, okay?
That part.
So, I am definitely excited to say that Tupac gets a star on Hollywood. He got a Star Hall of Fame. And his sister spoke on his behalf. She did a tribute for him.
Very nice.
Like holding back the tears. I know that's got to be hard, no matter how many years it's been.
That's true.
But
Did you see the documentary, the Dear Mama documentary that was on Hulu?
Is that the old one?
No, I don't think it's old. It just came out.
Oh, okay. No, I'll have to check it out.
It's like a 3-part series.
Okay.
Each part is like 2 hours long.
Oh, okay.
Girl, it go like for anybody who's like a Tupac fan and like who really didn't know like his history and like how deeply rooted his mom was in the Black Panthers, and even his role that he played in the Black Panthers was very integral. Like I didn't know that he was like speaking on behalf of like, different parts of.
Well, I did know that
was
because
like,
his mom was heavy in, right?
Right. She was, but they were like gearing him up to be like the next political thing. And he was vicious, y'all. For sure.
And he was definitely lethal with the pen and the tongue. We know that.
Yeah.
And I wonder what took so long for him to get this.
Somebody have to pay for him. The Hollywood stars ain't free. They pay for them. Like after you meet a certain criteria, then it has to be paid for.
Okay, so you qualify for it. I can't just walk up and say, "I got the money, I want one."
Right. I mean, that's just even like with platinum plaques. Like I feel like they don't know artists. They buy those. Like once you reach the certain like status, the RIAA certification, and when you hit gold and platinum and all that, you can hit it and never have a platinum plaque on your wall. You have to buy them.
Okay. So the writer, producer, all those people can buy it too because they're part of the album, right?
As long as they're noted as a writer or have some type of contractual agreement that they, ghost wrote or whatever on it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So yay for Tupac, guys. And that is well deserved. Definitely a talented artist.
Yes.
We still definitely rock out to his music.
Yep.
And thanks to his sister for doing the tribute for him.
Yeah, that's really good. And I think that, probably the money that was made from the the Hulu series probably was a reason for them to go ahead and say, all right, we need to definitely commemorate him.
Yeah. And it's well deserved.
That's for sure. For sure.
All right. And moving on to Miss Nicki Minaj, guys. She is being sued by a jeweler. Okay.
Oh Lord, what she didn't pay for?
Well, okay, so Nicki's claiming she don't owe this person any money.
Of course, they always claim they ain't owe no money.
That the jeweler just want publicity. Okay, but basically, they loaned her some jewelry for a public appearance,
right?
Which is very normal. Okay, a lot of people don't know.
It's
extremely normal.
Yeah.
So sometimes all that bling bling, every time you see me, ain't theirs. Okay, right. It's borrowed.
Right, it's on lease.
It's on a lease. And so what they're saying is that they asked for the jewelry for return and didn't return as per the contract. Because they give you time to bring it back.
Right.
And
they know you ain't gonna go to the thing, take it right off and bring it right back. So they probably give you 72 hours of
they do give you time to bring it back in the contract that you signed to take the items. And then also you have to return the items as they were given to you.
Right. They can't be broken or dirty. Well, they might They might be able to be a little dirty because they're gonna clean them anyway. But
Yeah. So they're saying that Nikki and her team, stylists per se, took a long time to bring the jewelry back. Okay. And then it came back damaged. So they're claiming that they've sent multiple bills for $26,239, which Nikki clearly got that money.
Or does she?
So the people want their money.
Nikki's saying it now.
And Nikki's saying that the jewelry was returned in the condition she received it.
So she's trying to say that the jewelry was broken when she got it.
No, not broken. She's saying that the jeweler just wants some publicity, so he's going to court and knowing TMZ and all these people are going to get the public court record.
Wow.
So that could be true too.
Wow.
I don't know, but that shit is a hot mess.
The hottest.
A hot mess. And I'm sure, I don't think Nikki bought the jewelry back broken, because I'm sure that they get plenty of things on loan. Yeah. And her stylist, her team, know the condition. Somebody's watching it like a hawk. I mean, if you can remember, I would pull clothes.
Yep.
To style people and stuff.
Different photo shoots. And
and I would watch it like a hawk.
Especially the clothes, because it's easy to ruin, like, makeup on it or it getting torn, like especially the dresses. Remember when we get the long dresses, we have to be very careful. The shoes, we would have to tape the bottoms of them, just making sure that no type of makeup is getting on the stuff, like putting a little thing inside of the collar to make sure, like, it was a lot. Like,
it was a lot. And you gotta make sure.
We was in the trenches, baby.
You gotta make sure that the expensive ass clothes you're pulling, that their stylist is pulling, is the artist style. We ain't gonna name no names, but we had a very famous, do you remember that?
Oh my God.
Photo shoot set up. I mean, you would say the clothes was what, about $10,000-$15,000 worth of clothes?
Yeah.
And the artist walked in and said, I don't like it. It ain't my style.
I was like, oh.
And my photo shoots were lit. I mean, I had food. We had food, photographers, everything catered. Anything you needed. So that was very expensive for you to be like.
It was a lot. I was kind of embarrassed just a little bit, to be honest with you.
And I want to say that the designer was there.
Right. And then it ended up being that they just sent us some promo pics, because they was like, no, we're not finna use these clothes. That's not even my style. I was like, okay.
I am talking about jeans that's $2,000-$3,000.
It was.
I would have loved to put that on my ass.
It was
for a photo.
It was definitely.
But we ain't gonna name no names. And we still cool with the artist, and we'll still go to his show and rock with him. Now y'all know it's him. All right, but anyway,
it was definitely different. I forgot all about that. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. I was like, okay.
And I know I normally start with the condolences, guys, but we're gonna talk about some things. So we do want to send our prayers and condolences to Jackie O.
Yeah.
Family, fans, friends. She was a Wildin' Out star on Wildin' Out with Nick Cannon for a while. She passed away. We do know that. A lot of things are being thrown out there, but apparently she went to go get a mommy makeover in Miami and died after the procedure.
Wow.
Which is really sad, because she has 3 kids. So it's really sad. So we definitely want to keep her and her family and fans and everybody in our prayers, because it's when somebody, that's an unexpected death.
Right.
It's not like, I'm going in for open heart surgery and I may or may not.
Right.
And you don't even expect it then.
Right.
Because you always expect your loved ones to
To
come out
pull
of whatever
through. Right.
okay.
You expect
Period.
them to pull through.
Which, we definitely keep her in our prayers, condolences.
Yeah.
Nikki, pay them people. Tupac, congrats.
Right.
And
And then I want to send a special shout out to a dear friend of mine who passed away on today 5 years ago. So big
oh
shout
yeah,
out to his family. Lex Dirty, rest in peace.
phenomenal producer
And we certainly miss
and a
the
great
talent,
guy. Yeah,
the friendship, and all of that. And so I just want to say RIP, rest in heaven, to my
yes.
friend.
It's hard losing people we love.
Yeah.
So we're gonna let Shantae bring us into our topic of the night, which we definitely need to
Yeah.
discuss.
Yeah. We definitely, with all these, kind of
Unexpected
condolences,
things.
unexpected deaths, we want to talk about decisions that are painful to your loved ones. And so what do you mean by that? Like what do I mean by that? I mean, when, let's say, I'm getting news from the doctor, right? And the doctor tells me I need to exercise, I need to drink more water, I need to do this, I need to do that, or my life is going to be in jeopardy. If I decide that I'm not going to do those things, I made a decision that I'm going to die. That affects my loved ones.
Certainly.
So when you make decisions that are going to affect your loved ones in a negative way, is that right? Is that right to do that? That's what we're talking about.
And what we say is a selfish act.
Yeah, is it selfish? Is it selfish for me to know that the doctor has given me 60 days to live and I don't tell anybody? Is that selfish of me to do that?
It is. And I think that when it's at that time, right? And you making these decisions,
Right.
I don't think that people are deliberately doing it, but you do, you hear story after story after story, okay? Um, I'll say this. Let me share this. Okay. So a good friend of mine knew I had been in a car accident. I'll tell y'all who, Miss Deb, okay? She got love for me. She knew I was in a car accident. She called me and told me, do not get she's like, if you can sustain the pain, try not to get that pain shot or whatever, because I know somebody close to me got a shot and was paralyzed. Well, I mean, although that's a person is a different person for me and a different body, but it's definitely going to make me do some research before I make a decision, because when I make that decision, I'm leaving things on the table that would affect my sister, my nieces, my nephews, and that's a problem for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when people selfishly, we've all done it, had too many drinks and got behind the wheel, and you be okay with it. And I've definitely done it. I'll tell y'all. I've done it more than one time, but every time I come out the situation safe, I think about it, and it makes me not want to do it again, because again, that bad decision I'm making could take the life of someone else,
Right.
put their family through hell,
Right.
and it could put my family through hell.
Right.
I could take my own life, or I could go spend life in jail, which is taking your life.
Right.
And it'll put my family through hell. So it's definitely a selfish act, and we all do it. But the thing is, you educate from it and try not to do it.
Right. And I mean, I think that sometimes in the heat of the moment, you're not really thinking clearly. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Especially if, like, in the scenario of drinking a lot, it's like you're already impaired. You're already kind of like a little more inebriated, or your senses, your guard is down and stuff like that. So you're not making the most rational choice.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're not thinking in the moment, oh, how is this going to affect my niece? Oh, how is this going to affect my daughter? Oh, how is this going to affect my husband? It's like you're just making a stupid choice. I feel like, at what point do we say to ourselves, okay, it's too much of a stupid choice? Like, at what point do we say, okay, I need to stop, because if I don't stop after this point, I can no longer make rational decisions. So
Yeah.
that's a little bit of self-control, I feel like, in that particular situation.
Right. Yeah.
But like situations like, you know, people who are providers, and they decide to do something different with themselves, or they decide not to apply themselves as much as they possibly could, like the decision is affecting their family, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I think that we all know, people who have been in that situation, or the mom who, is strung out on drugs, and they know that if they continue to go down this path, their kids gonna get taken away.
Right.
Like,
But I think that's different because you really can't just when you're strung out on drugs or any type
or
of
when you start
impaired,
to take the drug,
you make the decision before you go there. Because
right,
once you're on it, it's a disease and
right.
people need help getting off,
I mean,
I
I feel
think
like
that
that's
people
with
could,
drinking too.
yeah, absolutely. That's a disease. So it's not that you can just say, oh, I'm stopping today. Because if people could just stop today, they would, right?
And so then the question begs, like, so the loved ones, when they see you making these choices, do they have the right to say something? Do they have the right to even intervene?
I think so. Mine better.
You know,
Mine better,
do they have the right to say, Auntie, you drinking too much?
Yeah. Are you
Auntie,
getting behind the wheel when you're drinking, or something? Yeah,
yeah,
because that is going to be left on them.
yeah.
Your loved ones is who, you know, suffer the blow.
But then how do the loved ones, because sometimes people are not even reasonable enough to hear what it is that the other person is saying. So
Boom.
so how do you, as the loved one, be able to step in and say, okay, this is too much, or you need to do this better, or, and without sounding preachy, without sounding like, okay, I'm trying to control you or be your parent, or whatever. Like, how do you lovingly give that piece of information? Because I certainly know, if I could go back in time, there's people that are very close to me that I wish that I could have said, hey, look, do it a different way, or
Yeah.
think about what this means to everybody. Like, how do you even approach that?
Right. Um, Zuri said it can be hard. Yeah, it can be hard.
Yeah.
And I think that you just deliver it. And if there is,
And whatever they take from it is whatever
and
they take
yeah,
from it.
yeah, like just like just like I got a phone call. Hey, I know you was in a car accident. I know somebody that blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Just do some research on it. Not telling me what to do with my life and not telling me not to do it. Just do a little research, because shit. I mean, these days, especially after and I talked to my sister and I told her after the Jackie O thing, I said, what's really sad is that it all came out, all this stuff about this doctor and whatever. And of course, we can't fault her, because like every day we all go see some doctor or nurse, and we have not checked a public license that we can.
Right. So Robin says you have to pick the words carefully, and be careful with your tone. That comes off more concerning than judging. You never want a person to get offended because they say that they're not going to be receptive of what you say. And Zuri says, yeah, sometimes it doesn't matter the approach. So
They just don't listen. And that's true.
yeah, and Robin says, yeah, that's so true. And it's like no matter what you say, because they already know how they feel about it, and it's almost like they're already on the defense. It's like it subconsciously maybe they know that it's not the best choice, so they're already on the fence and already know that they're not gonna hear what you have to say.
And yeah, and so and that's another thing we're hearing about more and more and more people passing
Yeah,
from the BDLs and the tummy tucks and all that. And the thing is, yeah, we want to look great and do what we want to do for us, but it's only fair to our loved ones if we do a little research on the doctor. We don't just deal with the surgeon. We go to an MD and, hey, am I healthy enough to handle this surgery? Because I have children and I don't want to die.
but not
You
just,
know what I mean?
and not just that, but like with all of these different situations, it's kind of like you don't really truly know what this is doing to your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though they're moving the fat around and all this other kind of stuff, you don't know if this is really going to affect you 2 years down the line. It might be fine for the first 5 years.
Well,
7 years from now, your body might be like, no, I'm rejecting it. And now all of a sudden, you got this horrible situation that you're dealing with because of your desire to strive for a perfected body.
and I get it. People want to look good, and now you don't have to diet and all this. You could pay to do it, but you gotta think of your loved ones, the people that if something happened. So let me weigh this all the way out. Let me do all the research I can. Let me go to my MD and make sure that I am healthy enough. Because just because a plastic surgeon say you could get new boobs or new nose or whatever it is, your MD might think, you know what, you suffer with high blood pressure and you could stroke out on a table, period. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
and the thing is like I said, I believe that wholeheartedly, but what I really feel like is people don't understand like the long lasting effects of these different things, because there's been so many artists that have done it in the past and then went back and got all that stuff reversed because it wasn't sitting well with their body.
Yeah, but the main thing is they lived. Like, so you want to make sure that, you know, what you got going on is not affecting the people you love or going paralyzed or whatever. Just do some research.
But what I'm saying is like, so there was a reason why they probably went and got that stuff done, and even the recovery time, you don't know what type of things that they were suffering. That's still affecting, even though they didn't die. It's still affecting their loved ones.
But the thing is, I know a lot of people that have had successful surgeries too. So I just think that you got to research the doctor, research where you're going. I know, you know, just everything. Like, I know that another story just broke, and there's, you know, the U.S. is trying to stop people from going to Mexico because there's people that's dying going in Mexico getting surgery. So you got to do the research. You got to research the doctor. You got to,
and even like with people and their health issues, like if you know that you got a certain health issue, like don't hide it from your family. Don't hide it from your loved ones. They're like your support system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in the long run, somebody could have did something to try to help you. They could have been your encouragement. They could have been your, I don't know, your dialysis buddy, and you just didn't know because you were so afraid to ask, or you didn't want to change your lifestyle or whatever. And now you got all these people sitting here and they're hurt because of the choice that you made.
Yeah, and sometimes you make choices and you don't even realize what you're doing. I'll tell you, like, I'll share a story with you guys that really woke me up, you know, to where I definitely think of my family when I'm making these crazy ass decisions. My sister is a nurse, okay? And I went to the doctor, and the doctor wanted to rush me straight to the hospital. My sister. And she's like not trying to make me freak out because she's a nurse. And so I'm telling her everything the doctor told me, but I'm like, I feel fine. I don't know. And I actually went back to work and finished working. I kept telling my sister, should I go to this hospital, this hospital? Oh, I'm just going to go to Northside because I feel more comfortable, whatever. And she's like, you just need to get to a hospital. So because my sister kept telling me to go, and I was like, well, is it that bad? Should I go in the morning? And so I ended up going to the hospital. It was that bad. My cousin, who's a doctor, when I was telling him everything. But the thing was, I made choices and I was doing home remedies and not doing my medicine. And I didn't run it by a doctor and I didn't run it by anybody. I was like,
I'm just gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Google MD, doing
WebMD.
doing what I wanted to do, but I put myself in a harmful situation. But the problem was that I could have died from everything that was happening, right? I could have literally died like any second. And because I didn't really tell anybody what I was doing, I have medical people in my family. Like I said, my sister's a nurse. It was to that point, and I still felt fine, but I was basically, put in a hospital. It was like, you could have died any second,
And
that would have been left on my family. You know what I mean? Because I was making poor choices.
It happens so often, though. I mean, even
So
I
that woke
had
me
a
up.
situation like that as well, where I had some things going on, and like I kept putting it off, saying, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, and then when I went to the doctor, like they ran my blood, my lab work, and they called me up and was like, hey, don't freak out, but I need you to go to the hospital right now. I'm like, huh? So I mean, I just think that people have to make sure that they're not making decisions just arbitrarily. They need to be smarter about the things that they're making, especially when you got so many different people out there who love, care, and support you. They're there for a reason. Your tribe, your family is there for a reason.
Yeah. And it is selfish when you make these decisions that are going to impact your loved ones, and you go through things like Shantae and I just shared with you guys some personal stuff, and we ended up with a slap on the wrist. But now we know.
Yeah.
You learn from it. Now
Nothing
we know.
is too small to just check out and make sure that you're sharing it with the right people. But we got 2 minutes, so we got to get a little 2-minute tip in.
All right. Well, I'm going to give you guys a great tip.
Okay.
And I think this goes for whatever city you're in, pretty much. So you can have family fun, like research it and do it on the low. So a couple of weeks ago, Shantae and I and another friend, we bought $25 tickets to
the Braves game.
A Braves game.
Yeah.
And I think anybody could do this. And then you find a local bar that's inside the game that you could see really good. And that way you're eating good, drinking good, and viewing really good. So you don't always have to buy
the $300 ticket.
The $300 ticket. So now we don't get to go, right? Because we want to bring the whole family. We want to bring 4 people. You can buy the cheap ticket.
Yep.
And just find one of
the bar.
Find one of the bars inside of the stadium to go in, have drinks, have food, and have a good time.
And let me tell you, y'all, that was so much fun. I had a really rough day that day, and I was so glad to be outside. I was like, oh, I'm outside.
And we were just kind of like, oh, we're just gonna go because we're just gonna go. We'll be at the game, enjoying the game, and have some food and drinks and all that good stuff.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
And so it was like a night out.
Yeah.
It
just was different atmosphere, and it definitely it definitely was a lot of fun, and I'll definitely go do that again.
So what I'm saying is that, okay, it's great for us to buy the expensive seeds or whatever, the treat when sometimes, but on just a nice
Doesn't have
summer
to be.
night,
Doesn't have to be.
on a nice summer night, and you're like, oh, I just want to get out and bring the kids and bring the husband, or just me and the husband, and we just want to go to the game and have some drinks and fun and be able to see it pretty good. You can, just go hang out kind of in one of the bars right there in the game, and
That's it.
and that's it.
So
you don't
that's
have
our
to spin
show,
an arm and a leg.
Y'all wanna catch us on the replay? We're out on all platforms with the exception of iHeart and Apple Podcasts. But any other site you wanna, Deezer, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, we're there. Come check us out on the replay every single week. We're always there. We love to have the replays. It's sick to see how the numbers go up after the show. So that is amazing. And also, if you have any topics, you can hit us up at that's TEAN, things with a Z on the end at gmail.com. We'd love to discuss your topic on the show.
All right. Well, it's been another fabulous Wednesday. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Peace.